Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're going to be carrying on with the colour along in Rita Berman's new book. So we're just going to pick out which page we're going to do today, and I'm going to go for this one. Let's see what we've got. Oh, we've got the camping one, so that's this one up here. So I'll move these out the way, zoom you in, and we'll get started. Okay, so the first colour that we're going to use is Lilac 408. We're going to start filling in the sky with this because we're going to do like a nice purpley pinky blue sunset sky. So I'm just going to go in and add some of this randomly to the background. Next I'm going to use Orchid Purple 407, and we're going to do some random places with this colour as well. So I think I'll go up against the purple and just blend that together. Bring it down into the trees. Next, taking Fuchsia 404, I'm going to do a bit more. So I'm going to fill in this little bit here. So then taking UBE Purple 410, I'm going to add this into the gaps that we've got. Just going to go back in with Lilac 408, which was our first colour, and I'm just going to darken up this little bit here with the lilac, and then I'm going to add some underneath the tree, just so that it's not all the lightest purple under there. So I want to mix it up a little bit. So then I'm going to go back in with UBE Purple, and I'm just going to fill in the rest of this sky. So I'm pretty happy with that. So we're going to fill in the stars next. So for that I'm going to use Lemon Yellow 104, so we're going to have quite bright little stars. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill them in. Okay, so for the grass, we're going to fill that in using pear green 603. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a base coat on all of the grass. So next we're going to go in with forest green 614, and we're going to start to add some grass strokes in here. So I'm just going to do little lines and just sort of flick the colour up. Then I'm going to take jungle green 618, so this is a little bit darker, so we're going to do the same again and just add some darker grass in. Okay, I think we'll leave that for now. We might come back and add a few more after. I'll just use forest green again actually and just do a couple more in here. That's looking a bit light still. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with crimson red 207, and I'm going to use this to fill in these little berries here. Okay, next I'm going to go in with Coyote Brown 303, and I'm going to use this to fill in the path. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill that in. I'm just using light pressure. Then taking dark chocolate brown 310, we're going to add some shadow into that. So I'm going to do a little bit more along this edge here on the right hand side, just so that's darkened up a little bit. Okay, so for this tree I'm going to use matcha green 609, and I'm going to go ahead and fill this in. And then going back in with jungle green 618, I'm going to do the little leaves, so they're a little bit darker. And then we're going to try and add a bit of reflection, so I'm going to use Lilac 408, and I'm just going to do like a little bit of colour on this side, so it almost looks as if the sky's reflecting down onto the tree. So next we're going to do the blanket. So I'm going to take burgundy 412 and I'm going to do every other square. So I'll just put some dots on them so that we know which ones we're going to do. So I'm going to fill these in with the burgundy. Then to bring it together, I'm going to use Crimson Red 207, which is what we used for these little berries. So I'll fill in the opposite squares with this. And I just wanted to say like a big thank you to everybody that's subscribed to my channel. We just hit 500 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. I'm still in shock. But yeah, you know, I just want to say a big thank you. Everyone's been so nice in the comments section, leaving really nice messages of support. So yeah, it's really nice to read all of your messages, and I do try to respond to everybody as well, just so that you know. Okay, so that's our mat done. So next we're going to do the tent, and I think we're going to do similar colours to the mat so that it all sort of matches. So we're going to go with Rose Red 205 because that's the lightest shade of red that I can see, and we're going to fill this in. So I'm just using light pressure for this. And then just using Lemon Yellow 104 where we've got the gap, I'm just going to use this in there so it kind of looks like there's a light on inside. I'll just take that over the edges just so it looks like it's glowing a little bit. Okay, so then we'll go back in with Crimson Red 207, so this is going to be our darker red. So I'm going to go along the edges here. Along the edges of this side. I'm still only using light pressure. And then going back in with the burgundy 412, we're going to fill in these outside bits here. So I'm just going to use normal pressure for this and get these filled in. And then I'm just going to slightly take this colour over the red here, just by the edges, just to darken that up a little bit. So I'm going to do the same for this edge here. So I'm just going to go along the very edge. And then just slightly bring this colour out. Then going back in with Crimson Red, we're going to darken this up. So I'm just going to go over all of it so it will all blend together quite well. And we'll do the same for this side. And we'll go over these as well, get this all blended in nicely. So next, taking white quartz 001, we're going to use this to blend together the gap that we've left. So you literally just want to go sort of like across so that it drags the colour from either side. And you'll see that it just leaves like a lighter patch in the middle. And that's what we were aiming for, so it looks like there's some light coming out through the tent. So next we're going to move on to the trees in the background, and I want to kind of do like a reflection on them as well. So what I'm going to do is take some of the purple colours that we were using for the sky. So I'm going to go in with Lilac 408, and I'm going to add just a little hint of this onto the edge here. I'm not using hard pressure, it's literally just so that there's like a little bit of colour on there. I'm going to do the same for this tree here. And then I think we'll use UBE purple, and we'll do a little bit on this one and a little bit on this one. And then we'll take the orchid purple and we'll add a little bit of shade to the top of this one, and add a bit of shade to the top of this one, and this one. So this might work, it might not work, they might all end up looking the same, I don't know, but we're going to try. Okay, for this big one I'm going to use Spearmint Green 610. So I'm just going to go ahead and start filling this in. So I'm going to work from the middle. Again, I'm going to avoid the little leaves. So I'm just doing a light coat on this first, so we can see what it looks like. I'm just going to take it into the purple. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill this in a bit better. So I'm just going to go back in with Lilac, and I'm just going to go over this bit here that we put to blend that together. And then for these little leaves this time we're going to use pear green so that they'll really stand out. So we'll fill them in. Next I'm going to take Forest Green 614, and I'm just going to add this around the swirls just to darken that up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to use Spearmint Green again, and I'm going to do the same for this tree. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it in first. And then I'm going to go back in with the Orchid Purple 407 and fill that bit in, darken that up and blend it into the green. And then taking Jungle Green 618, we're going to add some shadows to this. So I'm going to add a bit of a shadow here behind the tent because that would be a bit darker. And then where we've got these little sort of spiky tufty bits, I'm going to fill them in darker. And then I'm just going to take Spearmint Green again, 410, and I'm going to actually go over this one because it really blends into the grass at the moment. So I'm going to darken this one up. So next I'm going to use Sage Green 615. So this is quite a darker, it's more like a bluey green. So I'm going to use this for this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in this top bit here. And then go back in with the UBE purple to blend that together because that's the colour that we used on this one. So So I'll just fill that in and take it over some of that as well. And then we'll fill in these two lines here. And we'll do these little lines at the bottom. Then taking Matcha Green 609, we're going to fill in the other portions of the tree. Okay, so for this one I'm going to use Matcha Green. So again, I'm going to go over the UBE a little bit. And then bring the UBE back in and fill in the top part of the tree and blend it down into the green. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this all in. And then taking Forest Green 614, we're going to fill in the little leaves on the tree. I'm going to go in with Forest Green, which is quite a dark colour anyway, and I'm going to fill this in. But first of all, I'm just going to blend it in with the pink. So I'm just going to go lightly over that. And then go back in with Orca, I think it was that we used, Orchid Purple 407. So we'll just go over this bit that we've added the pink and blend that down into the green. And then we'll carry on filling this in. So I'm going to go in with black instead, and we're going to darken up this here, add a bit of a shadow behind this tree. So I'm going to darken up the whole bottom half and then follow that round, and then just lift the pressure to blend it out. Okay, so we're going to go in with Spring Green 601, and we're going to do these two. So I'm going to avoid the leaves like we did on the last one. So I'm just going to first start by blending it into the pink. And I'll do the same here. So then taking the Orchid Purple 407, we're going to go over and blend this together. And we'll do the same for this little one. Okay, so now we can carry on and fill these in. And then we're going to use Olive Green 617, and we're going to fill in the leaves on these ones. Okay, so taking Dark Chocolate Brown 310, we're going to fill in the trunks of the trees. So we've got one here, and we've got another one here, one there, and this one. And then I'm just going to go back in with UBE Purple and just fill in these little bits at the bottom here that I missed to make them look more like sky. So for this one, we're going to use Matcha Green 609. So I'm going to fill in the middle one with Matcha Green. And then taking Spearmint Green 610, we're going to fill in the top and the bottom. we'll go back in with dark chocolate brown and do the trunks. So first of all, we're going to take Peony Pink 401, and I'm going to use this to fill in his little ear. And then I'm going to add a little bit of pink to his nose and some pink to his cheek. Try and make that a little bit rounder. There we go. And we're going to have a grey bunny, so I'm going to go in with Steel 007. And this is going to be the lightest shade, so I'm going to go ahead and fill him all in. Then I'm going to take Koala Grey 011, which is quite a dark grey, and I'm going to fill in his little second foot, which is a little bit behind. I'm going to do his belly. And then we'll do this second arm, which is also behind. So if we fill it in darker, it'll look a little bit further back. And I'm just going to give him a little bit of shade at the bottom of his ears. And we'll do the same for this one. And then I'm going to do some shading on his tail. Bring that out, and we'll go up his back slightly. So I'm just going in with Matcha Green 609, and I'm just going to add a little bit more grass here, I missed that bit. Then just taking dark chocolate brown, we're going to fill in the pegs on the floor. And then just going in with the normal white gel pen, I'm going to add a few dots into the sky. I'm not going to go around the stars. I'm just going to add in a few little tiny dots. The ones that I'd coloured in accidentally, the dots, I'm going to fill in the white gel pen so that you can see them a bit better, because I did fill some of them in by accident. And then we're just going to go ahead and randomly dot in some little stars. We'll add a bit of highlight here to the tent and here. And then I think we'll add a little bit of highlight onto each square of the blanket. We'll add highlight onto these berries. And there you go, you guys. That is our finished colour along. So we've got 2 pages done now. Well, 2 squares done now. So you'll have to let me know what you guys think. Let me just turn off the light. There's a bit of a glare on there. Yeah. There we go. All finished. So until next time, guys, I will see you then. Bye.